The All-Star break is approaching, and I'm going to be picking my All-Stars for both the American League and the National League for the year 2025. There's a lot of candidates for all positions, of course. This is not an easy choice by any means necessary. I'm going to say this. Sorry that it is so bright. There's no dark mode that I can find on this, so we're just going to go blind trying to do this. So I just want to say that. I apologize that it is so damn bright. I don't really know what else I could do, but yeah. First off, I'm going to go by position, so we'll both do the American League and the National League. I'll talk through some of the guys I think that are going to make the All-Star team, and then some guys who are the starters and all that good stuff. First off, let's start with first base. I think there's a couple good candidates for the American League. First off, Jonathan Aranda, Paul Goldschmidt, Vladdy, are probably, and Torque, I guess, would also be up there. But if I had to pick one, it's probably going to be, probably Aranda at this point in the year. I do think it'll be Vladdy who will end up getting it. I'm a Yankees fan. I love what Paul Goldschmidt has done. I think he deserves an All-Star game spot for what he has done this season, especially his revival of the team. I think that he is really shown up, and he's been a really, really good player for us. So if I had to pick one, though, this is one of the tougher positions in my opinion. There's no key favorite in the American League. If you go by OPS, it's Aranda. If you go by home runs, it's Aranda. RBIs, it's Aranda. Average, it's Aranda. It is right now Jonathan Aranda who is the favorite, and I'm going to be picking him on the National League side. But I do think Vladdy and Goldschmidt could possibly both make the All-Star game. And hey, maybe someone like Vinny Pasquantino, who just won Player of the Week, could sneak in there. He's been super good as of late. 10 homers. I think he leads, apart from, or Torque's actually got 16. And even Torkelson, like, you look at his numbers, he's like got a higher OPS than both of these guys. So maybe I'm underestimating. I know average is not everything. An 844 OPS, I would rather have Torque's season with the RBIs he's contributed than Vladdy's. Let's be real. But hey, first base is a stacked position. It always is a big slugger and hitter's position. We got Pete Alonso, Freddie Freeman, Matt Olson, I guess, for like the top three candidates in my opinion. Even Michael Busch has had a good year. Yes, you could put Harper in there. He's dealt with some injuries this year, though. Rhys Hoskins has had, these are big numbers across the major leagues. For me, it's got to be Pete Alonso. I just think he's done it more than Freddie this year. Even though Freddie's maybe potentially playing the best baseball of his career. This is some of the best baseball we've seen Freddie Freeman play. His OPS is one tick higher. The only reason I'm giving it to Pete, he's played more games. He's got 8 more home runs. He's got 21 or 22 more ribbies or RBIs. There's a lot. Even Naylor's been super good. Again, first base is always a stacked position. I think if I had to pick the guys who are going to be there with Pete Alonso, I would go Freddie's going to make the All-Star team, and Josh... I don't know if any other ones are going to make it from this. I'll have to come back. But I'm going to go Pete Alonso and Freddie Freeman 1-2. I think... who am I going to say for start at the All-Star break? Because I don't think Arnett is going to be the starter. I do think he's going to make an All-Star team. I don't think he's going to be the starter come the All-Star game, though. So I'm going to pick... I'm gonna pick Pete Alonso. I think he's gonna stick it through. I think he's gonna make it. Pete Alonso and Arnaldo, the two top picks, quote unquote, in this order thing. On second base, American League side, we got Mr. Consistent Jose Altuve, Willie Castro, Jazz, Jimenez, Holiday, Brandon Lau, Michael Mazy, Dylan Moore, Renjifo, Semien, all these guys. This is one of the weaker positions on both sides of the American League and the National League. The second base has always just been a weaker position in baseball, in my opinion, and this year is no question about it. Just another terrible on both sides. The American League, it might even be harder. I thought, you talked to me in April, I thought Christian Campbell was going to run away with this spot. I don't think he's been good enough. I think Jazz could come in and steal it. I really think it's up to anybody who really wants it. you look at the numbers, it's Brandon Lau right now, without a doubt. But Glaber, like a month ago, was really, really good. I think he's not been very great. This is not an easy choice by any means necessary. I think that this is tough. I think the starter of the game is going to be Jazz Chisholm. I think that unless like a Semyon kind of starts to pop off, but I think he's just getting to that point in his career where I think Jackson Holiday could be a starter, which is absolutely insane to say, and I do think Jose Altuve could definitely be a candidate to be a starter as well. I'm going to go with, though, my first half and go with Brandon Lau. I think he's been the best one so far. He's got the numbers to back it up. Sure, you could say Jose Altuve. Sure, you could say Willie Castro in terms of OPS, but he just has the most RBIs. Yes, Glaber's been good as well. If you look at pure numbers-wise, Glaber has him beat. And I love Glaber, but I'm going to go with Brandon Lau for now. I think he's my second base choice, which is 2 Tampa Bay Rays, which maybe we'll come back and change that. I don't know. I mean, this is showing to me like this Rays offense is kind of surprising me in terms of these 2 first picks, but this isn't a great production out of Brandon Lau anyways. I mean, nobody in the 800 OPS clearly goes to show how bad the American League is for second base. I mean, I guess Willie Castro, but the numbers behind him, I don't even know if he's playing purely second base. But here we go on the National League side. Ozzie Albies, who's off to a rough start, Cronenworth, Brandon Donovan, Edmund, Edwards, Estrada, Fitzgerald, Frazier, Garcia, Horner, Ketel Marte, Matt McLean, Jeff McNeil, Bryson Stott, and Bryce Terang. Again, I think Ketel Marte will start this game 100%, and I think he will start it right now if the All-Star game was. Yes, he's been injured or dealt with the injuries. I'm going to keep the second base up for a second here. It's definitely not Albies, definitely not Cronenworth. I do think Albies can turn his season around. He's a talented player. I think Brendan Donovan's been good. I think Tommy Edmonds been good. And then the only other candidate you could possibly throw in there is Jeff McNeil. But again, just the numbers behind it. When you look at Ketel Marte, he's got 12 homers, 23 ribbies, a 982 OPS on a 295 average. When you look at the grand scheme of things, he keeps the season up. It's going to be a tear for Ketel Marte, and I think he deserves this all-star spot, and it's a way easier choice than what we've had to do so far. Third base, another one of these positions in baseball that I think is kind of easy to pick for both sides right now. In comparison to others, Miguel Andujar is actually having a decent season. Barger, who's randomly turned up insane amounts. Bregman, who I think could have easily been the starter this year if he didn't get injured. I don't know how much longer he's out, but I think that can hurt his chances of being on an all-star team. Caminero's even been decent. Miguel Garcia, who has had an insane season. I mean, this has been an awesome comeback year for him. Moncada even isn't even playing that bad. Paredes doing Paredes things. Jose Ramirez, Rojas, Urias, Williamson. I think it is pretty easily Jose Ramirez, which is crazy to think when you look at like Bregman's numbers, when you look at Barger's numbers, when you look at Miguel Garcia's. It is easily Jose Ramirez. I do think if Bregman, I don't know what Bregman's injury status is. If Bregman comes back in the next 2 weeks, I could see him making an all-star game still. I think if Barger continues to rake in how he's been playing for the last 2-3 weeks, he could make the all-star game. And then I think Miguel Garcia, if he keeps it up in this second half of the first half, he will be an all-star as well. So it's just, I think at least one of those 3 will make the All-Star game as well behind them. And it's just which ones kind of fall off, which ones stay healthy, and those sorts of things. But it is easily Mr. Consistent Jose Ramirez, who's making a pretty good case to be a Hall of Famer, in my opinion, at the end of his career. Arenado, Bohm, Chapman, Durbin, Espinal, Ke'Bryan Hayes, Machado, Ryan McMahon, Max Muncy, Norby, O'Reilly, Rosario, Matt Shaw, Eugenio Suarez, and Mark Ventios. Or Ventos. I don't know. Is it Vent? I get his last name mixed up all the time. Right now, jumping out at me is Manny Machado. I think Suarez has had an amazing year too, but it is easily Manny Machado. He leads them, everyone except for, Suarez. Suarez, though, is super, super interesting to me. I think he's slowing down a little bit, but 55 RBIs in like the first or the 2/3 of the first half is really, really good numbers. And again, another one of these guys, like, he deserves an all-star game. I don't know if he starts. Riley's been pretty good. Max Muncy's turning up ever since he's got back. Even Chapman's playing good ball, but I do think I'm going to go with Manny Machado. I do think Machado will start the All-Star game at third as well. He's just been really, really good, and I think that he's got that popularity to his vote as well. So, hey, it is what it is. On the shortstop side, this is one of the most stacked positions in baseball, especially on the American League side. This is a tough choice. Arias, Bichette, Correa, Crawford, Henderson, Mitroth, I don't know how to say Chase Mitroth, Zach Neto, Pena, Seager, Story, Sweeney, Volpe, Walls, Wilson, and Witt. It is crazy to see Witt at a 275 average with a less than 800 OPS. Coming into the season, I would have easily said Bobby Witt is the starter, or Gunnar Henderson, and both of them to me will not be starting. When you look at it, and Volpe is that close on OPS to both these guys, it is pretty crazy. It is easily, though, Jacob Wilson. This is an insane first half. It is unbelievable. I mean, look at the numbers across the shortstop department, not even counting the stars. J.P. Crawford with an 811 OPS. That is ridiculously good. Zach Neto's 808. Jeremy Pena's here, which has been ridiculously good. Jacob Wilson has been good. Witt has been good. It's honestly unbelievable that Jacob Wilson is the All-Star game starter right now and how good he's been playing. If he continues to be the player he is, like, the A's have found some young core to build off with Lawrence Butler, with Wilson, with Mason Miller. In my opinion, they could be pretty good if they don't deal all their players away. On the National League side, we got CJ Abrams, Willie Adames, Nick Allen, Mookie Betts, who's kind of having a stinker of a year, Bogarts, Ellie De La Cruz, Isaiah Conifalefa, Francisco Lindor, Otto Lopez, Joey Ortiz, Perdomo, Swanson, Tovar, Turner, and Wynn. Again, good candidates across the board. I think for me it's between two guys, which is Francisco Lindor and Ellie De La Cruz. And right now, Ellie De La Cruz, in my opinion, has the higher up step. He just has better numbers through it, but I think Trey Turner's been really turning up in the last month. He had a terrible first month. I was really worried about the future of Trey Turner, but he's been raking. Perdomo's been super solid. You know how Mookie Betts is, and even C.J. Abrams. I am going to put Ellie De La Cruz as the starter of the National League game, but I think you also have to think that Francisco Lindor will be in that race and could easily start the game. I think it's going to be close because both those guys have a lot of fans behind them. But honestly, it's a pleasure to watch any of them play baseball. I think Lindor's an absolute baller, as well as De La Cruz, but I'm going to give it to De La Cruz. At this point, to complete the infield, we're going to go with the catcher position. In the American League side, it is easily Cal Raleigh. I'm not even going to think of anyone else trying to convince me. It is pretty crazy, the season he's having, one of the greatest catcher seasons we've seen in baseball, and he's been absolutely unreal. I mean, an OPS at 998, 26 homers, 54 ribbies on a Seattle team that can't hit at home because their batter's eye is lopsided or something. But he's been unbelievable, and I hope he continues this because he's a fun player to watch. But there's a lot of good catchers in the American League. It's a hard position to play. Hard position. It's the hardest position to play in baseball. Someone could say shortstop. Someone could maybe say center field. But catcher, the amount of workforce on your knees, on your legs, the game side of it, where you have to, every batter, you have to study, you have to help your pitchers out at every part of the game. To me, it is, without a doubt, not even close. But looking around, I mean, Dylan Dingler's had a great start to the year. Kirk, I can't believe I'm saying Kirk is having a great start to the year. Navarez, who's just killed my Yankees in this series, which has been insane, and Cal Raleigh. And I even like to throw Austin Wells in there. I know his numbers aren't insane, but I do think Wells is going to have a really big second half. But yeah, Cal Raleigh, easily the American League catcher, without a doubt. On the National League side, Alvarez, Bailey, Bart, Contreras, Diaz, Goodman, Kelly, Moreno, Murphy, Pages, or maybe I think it's Pages, but it could be Pages, I guess. Agustin Ramirez, Aurel Muto, Kerbert Ruiz, Will Smith, and Trevino. Shout out my boy Jose Trevino, because he's had a huge comeback year. Last year he looked kind of out of it in the Yankees organization as a player, but he had a great offseason. He's made himself be that guy. To me, though, it is clearly still Will Smith being the best catcher in baseball. Carson Kelly's had some big moments this year. I would love to see Francisco Alvarez have a better second half, but that's why I think the Mets are kind of scary. They've had some players who have had rough first halves in Ventios, in Alvarez, and even Soto. I think that's why the Mets look like a very scary team to me, because they're still a good team without these guys playing to the best of their ability. Hunter Goodman, shout out him. I think he just won something with like Player of the Week or Player of the Month or something. He's been super good as well. I think if he keeps it up, he could be Colorado's like all-star. I think each team gets one potentially, but it is Will Smith. He's been the best catcher in the National League for sure. Now, 3 outfield for each team. First off, for the American League, there's a lot of guys. I'm not going to say all their names because there's a lot. But first off, I'm going to get it out the way. I'm going to go Aaron Judge. He is doing things we've just never seen from a right-handed hitter, or maybe just a hitter in baseball in general. If he can somehow get that average back up to 400 at the All-Star break with the amount of homers he's hitting, with the OPS he has, it is ridiculous to me how good of a season he's had. And shout out, because please go watch Yankee games. Please go just watch highlights of him swing the bat, because you may never see a right-handed hitter as good as Aaron Judge in your life. And to be a Yankee fan, the privilege of being able to watch him play every day is truly a blessing, because he is one of the greatest of all time, and I get to watch him every day. Around the American League, though, to me, there's no one that stands out as a clear number 2. Just looking around, Cody Bellinger, without that bad first month, could easily be a candidate. Javi Baez, I know he's slowed down in the last couple of weeks. I think he's been like 1 for 21 or something like that, but I love Javi Baez. He's had a good year. Even Harrison Bader up there having a good year. A lot of good candidates. I would have said Lawrence Butler to be a sneaky guy. Look at Byron Buxton raking. But it's got to be Riley Green to me. He's been great. He's finally kind of breaking out to how I expected him to be as a player. I know he's been a good player in baseball the last couple of years, but he's now really emerging as like a name in baseball to be aware of. And I mean, 826 OPS, 14 homers, 48 ribbies. That's the first half you want from a guy like him. Trent Grisham is another guy that I like really want to put down on my bracket. I might come back to him. He's slowed down, of course, an 807 OPS, 239 average, 13 homers, 28 ribbies. Yes, you could look around and say there's better guys around the league. When you look at those numbers, you could say Lawrence Butler, who's just right there with him, and other guys down the list. But I don't know just yet. J-Rod's up there. Soderstrom, who had like an insane start. I think he had like 10 homers in the first couple weeks. Springer. Mike Trout, who might sneakily get in there. He's been tearing me up, and I'm playing against him in fantasy baseball this week. He's been killing me. He could easily sneak his way into an All-Star game, which I really hope. I am one of the biggest Mike Trout fans. He's a privilege to watch him play when he's healthy. As my third outfielder right now, I cannot believe I'm actually going to pick him. It is between J-Rod, Soderstrom, George Springer, and Buxton. Buxton has 11 homers, 40 ribbies, beats J-Rod. Okay, J-Rod's eliminated. He's right there with Springer, and Soderstrom is right there too. Who I think the 3 starters will be, I think it's going to be Riley Green, Aaron Judge, and then a sneaky player, whether it's like a Duran. Maybe it's a Trout if he can stay healthy. I don't think it's going to be who I pick here third. I think that... I'm trying to make good predictions here. Who deserves the shout? Butler. I'm going to go George Springer. I think he's just been the better guy. He plays a good glove as well. So Aaron Judge, Riley Green, and George Springer. That is absolutely insane. I would not have expected those 3 to be the All-Star starters. Same with kind of like when you go through like Arnanda, Lau, Wilson, like Cal Raleigh. I could have expected Cal Raleigh, but crazy. Acuna could easily find himself on like top teams near the end of the year. One of the picks will be Corbin Carroll. Probably will be Pete Crow Armstrong. Look at Austin Hayes. Jeez, I did not know he was having that type of year. Jackson Merrill, he dealt with some injuries early on. Elliot Ramos has had a good year. Soto, Tatis he's kind of been struggling. I'm gonna go. Ooh, James Wood though. Ooh, I'm gonna go with the rookie James Wood for my first pick. I'm also going to throw in Corbin Carroll. I think that where is he? He's like the first name I saw on there. He's been insane. And then for the third outfielder, it's between Pete Crow Armstrong, O'Neal Cruz, TJ, even Austin. Man, what is this Reds outfield? Okay, get to raking. Teoscar Hernandez or Soto. What's Soto's numbers? Ooh, Hernandez definitely has him beat. Tucker's right there too. Oof. I think it'll be Kyle Tucker, Teoscar Hernandez, and Corbin Carroll as the starters. I don't think James Wood's going to get there. Oh, maybe he will, though. I don't know. It's tough. I'm going to go... I'm going to go Kyle Tucker. I think the OPS is where I kind of lose Teoscar a little bit, but really good competition out there, and I think that you throw a couple of these National League guys on the American League side, and Riley Green and George Springer have some comp, but not enough comp. On the American League side, designated hitter, it is for the American League side. Ryan O'Hearn has been that guy. I won't lie to you. I love me some Ben Rice. I think he's deserved an All-Star game. He's been so unfortunate. Jorge Polanco's been really good. Ben Rooker's been really good. But it is Rafi Devers. He's been raking. And I think that you have to give it to him so far. This is unorthodox from Jordan. I'm sure he's been injured. But shout out my man Ben Rice. Shout out Jorge Polanco. Shout out Rooker. Definitely deserve it and could find themselves in an All-Star game beside Ryan O'Hearn and beside even Yandy Diaz. I know people were like really hyping up Yandy Diaz, but I got to give it to Rafi Devers. He deserves that one. On the National League side, it's Shohei. There's nothing more you can say than Shohei. I think that Schwarber will make the All-Star game as well. He won't be the starter. Shohei just has like the fan vote, the actual talent, and yeah, he's got the popularity. But Kyle Schwarber deserves an All-Star game as well. Shout out Herrera. He's been playing good too. But it's Shohei Ohtani. It is Shohei Ohtani. And this is... this is the team of my picks so far. Hernanda, Lau, Ramirez, Wilson, Green, Judge, Springer, Raleigh, Devers on the National League side, Alonso, Marte, Machado, Dela Cruz, Carroll, Tucker, Wood, Smith, Ohtani. I feel like in the National League, we have more like stars. Like I would say almost everybody on this list is a bona fide star. The only one I probably wouldn't say is like James Wood, who is a star and will be a star. I'm not saying he's not, but like going into the year, you probably could have put someone else, a Soto there, someone like that instead of James Wood, and I wouldn't have been surprised. Teoscar Hernandez, those guys are stars, and this is more what I expect from an All-Star team. Where on the American League, you're starting to see like Aranda, Lau, Jacob Wilson, even Green and Springer, just to be more surprises, which I like in baseball. That's why it's just amazing. But this is my All-Star game. Sorry that this video is a little bit long, but we're going to come back to this when the All-Star game is over and see what I did, if I picked right. If you guys like this video, remember to like and subscribe. This is a little bit different in my videos. If you guys enjoyed it, comment if you did. Comment if you have things for me to change or differentiate. Let me know because, and sorry for it being so bright. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.